All right, good to see everybody. Man, it was a big win for us Saturday. It was a wild game, but I thought just the way the kids approached it, the way they attacked them right from the get-go. We challenged them to be very physical, and we did some physical things in the game. Obviously, when you call 6 turnovers, you need to win the game, and but we had 3 of our own. We tried to even it back out a little bit. So, but to start off with knocking a ball loose on a kickoff team, be able to follow that with a touchdown, I think. But then we had a turnover. I think they scored to tie it at 7. But then we went right down the field and scored. Then we had a scoop and score on a kickoff return. Those were big plays. Obviously Mick, that was a huge play, momentum. When we got it to 28-7, and missed some opportunities to really separate. Got to make our field goals. We can't fumble inside the 5. Those are big things. But it's great when you fumble inside the 5 and the defense turns right back around and picks it off and runs it in. So it kind of evened itself out there. But they're good, okay? And that's one of the best offenses in the country. And so our defense had a great challenge. And we knew they would be difficult to just totally shut down. And their quarterback made some throws, but we knocked it loose. We were active. And when we needed to, we got it done. I was really excited about just the way the offense finished the fourth quarter. When they had closed the gap, we had a drive for a field goal, and we had a drive for a touchdown to kind of separate there again. I thought Carter, really he put 2 games back-to-back in a row where he just seems to be really competing and getting more comfortable and making plays. And he'll be the first to tell you he missed a few, but at the same time he extended some plays with his legs. Obviously, it was a big touchdown run where he broke 2 tackles. Kept us on the field a couple other times, so competing really well. I thought Ty played well offensively. To get, have a 200 and whatever, I think it was 220-yard rushing day, that was big. We needed to be balanced, and we were able to get that done. I thought Brayden Smith came in and gave us a boost as a true freshman coming in and getting some plays on the edge and making some plays in space that got us some first downs. So there's some kids that are starting to show up that are younger that are doing some good things. Obviously Lance Wise, pick 6 was huge. We'll try to work with Savio this week on, being able to run a full 70 yards maybe. Well, we've been giving him a hard time about that. But, hey, it's a big play. Gave us the ball at midfield. But I just, people ask me, about the game. I just thought, given the situation, playing on the road against a top, I don't know if they were top, 10 or top 15, depending on the poll, at this time of year to go get, I think, a season-defining win to keep yourself, relevant, to keep yourself in the playoff hunt, and overcome some mistakes, and get it done at the end of the game when we really had to, was big for our program. It's exciting to get that win on the road. And I'm sure their coaches, it's like anytime you lose, they'll be talking about turnovers and other things, but we cause turnovers. We're where we're supposed to be, doing what we're supposed to be doing. If we can continue to improve offensively like we have the last few weeks, I like where this team is headed right now. I like that we're playing our best football here late in the season. And we got to put good days of work. But we're to the point now, we told the kids where, everything's coming to a head. You put yourself in position if you win, okay, if you win these last 2 games, good things are going to happen for you. And you put a lot of work and time into it to get to this point and not finish. So we expect to go win Saturday, and we expect to go win the next Saturday. And that's the approach we're going to take. And it really doesn't matter who we play. That's just we've got to get better. We've got to go play our best football, and we still haven't. I still don't think we played our best game yet. But kids are making some plays, playing with some confidence. I think we got a team that's pretty locked in. We have a good week of practice. I'm trying to think if there's anybody I didn't mention that I need to mention. But the kids did a good job. I think Israel McWeeza really had his best game at offensive guard. I thought he played really well. Trying to think defensively as well. They just all the kids flew around and were opportunistic, and getting some things done. So proud of them. Big game this week. When we go to the Citadel, they're, it's another team that you just look at and you go, man, they're a lot better on film than I want them to be. Okay, especially on defense. They play really well in Charleston. They do a good job there. But it's a game we should win. We should go win the game, and we need to understand that and go handle that. But I'm sure we will get everything they have, and it'll be a battle. It'll be an absolute battle. It's not a lot different than the Wofford, team we played 2 weeks ago. So we got to get ready to go and keep getting better. Questions for me?
Confidence-wise, what does a win like this do for the whole, not only the team but the program as well?
Obviously, it beats the alternative, but yeah, it does. It gets you going a little bit, I think, And listen, we're used to beating Western Carolina. Okay, I don't mean that but we've been doing that, So, but the situation was a big win for us. So I think it does. I think hey man, look at when we do certain things. Look how good of a football team we can be. Now, we still have some issues in some places. Okay, so we've got to play complementary football. We're still making some mistakes, and we have certainly not, I think, gotten where we need to be. But we're in the hunt, and we're in the hunt with 2 games to go, and that's a big win on the road that should. We haven't done that in a while. You go back to last season, we really were cooking along for a while, and then you have 3 losses that it kind of derails you. And now you're coming back this year, and you're kind of the same thing with Furman and Chattanooga, not playing our best football. And so to go beat a top 10 team on the road should get you going pretty good, I would think. So I'm expecting us to continue to move forward.
Coach, your big thing after every game, you tell the team, let's get better. Are you seeing that week after week still? And what are some areas that you've been the most pleased with that you've gotten better in maybe since the beginning?
Yeah, I think quarterback play is a big one. Just because I think he's kind of let the burden go a little bit and not worrying about making mistakes and just playing. Now you're seeing what he's truly capable of at times. So I'm proud of him because it's hard. It's hard when you feel that, like, man, it's all on me, which it's not. That's the thing. It's not all on him. But still, you take that burden on as the quarterback of the offense when the offense is struggling. And so we really, just the last 2 or 3 weeks, just with him, hey, man, turn it loose, be Carter Peavy. And that's what you've been seeing the last few weeks. And I think he's really got some momentum going. And he can play a little cleaner. He's still got some things he can do. But, I think, am I allowed to say he's the SoCon Offensive Player of the Week?
Yeah, we'll release this afterwards.
Yeah, that's fine. Go ahead and release it then. Sorry. But he had a good day now. He had a good day. And I saw us up front offensively. We were better this past week. We were better, and we've been challenging those kids. So we were able to run the football some, and then you see a few more pieces making a few plays. Like I said, you got a few more guys. Brayden making a few plays. Parker, Roble, Owen. He got in there. You see, there's a few kids that are all of a sudden starting to get a little more comfortable, so that all the burden just doesn't lie on Ty or lie on Dev or Al. Right, so being able to spread the ball a little bit more and getting comfortable with different guys in there. I think our tight ends are really coming along offensively. And then defensively, just creating turnovers. You see over the last 3 weeks, what you said was 13 turnovers we've caused in the last 3 games. So that in the what now? Last 5 games. So, man, that's huge. That's really huge. When you cause a few turnovers on special teams, man, that gets the game. The game could have snowballed if we'd have done a little better and finished, in those red zone situations where we've got to do better. But at the same time, what we learned was that when they closed the distance, we were able to separate again. We didn't, we hung in there and we made plays and we beat a good football team at the end of the game.
And I'm assuming you're probably going to say once the clock hit 0, but at what point in the 4th quarter did you say?
I didn't. I was all the way to that onside kick, baby. And even then they threw a flag, and I couldn't even understand what they were trying to tell me about it. It was on us, then it was on them, and thankfully it was on them. I didn't want to see any more onside kicks that day. But because they're so explosive offensively, you just, as long as there's time on that clock, you can't let your guard down.
Now coming into the season, you're really, as a coach, you're comfortable because you got a bunch of senior leaders coming in, the guys that have returned. Who have you seen the most growth from this year out of that group?
It seemed like Lance has really come on the last couple games. Just he's making plays. He's really, he's affecting the game. Obviously, Zaberu has been a really good player for us. When I think Richie Coffey having a big pick in the game to kind of that kind of didn't seal it, but boy, it sure did. It sure did get, make it a lot better. So I see those guys. Those are guys that are making plays, and I think about Tavion McCarthy coming here as a graduate guy and making an impact like he is. Okay, so those are kind of guys that I think about. I'm sure I'm leaving somebody out, but defensively. So I apologize if I missed something, but those guys are good players, and offensively we're still pretty young, but obviously Ty is making in him. He's leading the country in receiving. I mean, he's making plays, and he made some contested catches. I mean, the first touchdown catch, he did exactly what he was coached to do. The way he beat press coverage, Carter read it right. It was an RPO, and he stacks the guy, and he's hard to deal with now. He's a good football player. So, seeing those guys do those things, need Dev to, Dev's getting a little bit. We need him to just run sometimes, right? Don't try to do too much. Just run fast, which he made some plays. He gave us some field position on a couple of kick returns, but just go play fast. Don't try to do too much, okay? Just go play fast. So I think about, those are our guys. Like I said, we're still kind of young in some spots as well. That's what's exciting. You should have a lot of guys back, So, but those kids they know where they're at. They know what's going on. Now, I'm going to challenge them. It's the kind of time of year where you got a little bit of a sprained ankle, so what? Okay? Something's bothering you? Yeah. Join the club. Okay? It's week 9. So if you want to reach your goals, you find a way to freaking go out there and get it done. You better be in the training room 3-4 times a day, get it taped up, and go practice. And that's going to be, some of our guys, hey, it's all that other crap, you need to put it to the side, and you need to pour everything you got into being a great student here and to winning every day to try to be a playoff team. And so we'll see. We'll see if everybody will push through some of those things that everybody in the country is dealing with and go show up and produce, even if you're not, 100%, because nobody is, and I think our kids will respond to that too. They're doing a good job with that.
Coach, you alluded to it, but the perseverance on Saturday, you had the 28-7 lead, and like the next 6 possessions, a couple missed field goals, the pick 6 in the first half, yet even as they continued to cut the lead, got it down to 3, you persevered, and that speaks highly of where this football team is and maturing to know we had a lead, it's slowly getting away, they upped the lead again. Nobody panicked.
Okay, I felt like we did that versus Wofford as well. It was a tight game when it shouldn't have been in the third quarter, and we were able to separate. And this game against a really good team, they closed the distance a little bit on us, and we responded. So those are experiences that you will draw on the next week and the next week.
Coach, last week Al Wooten was in here. We had him talking about how he been able to run the ball. Talk about how he carried the team right there.
Yeah, I mean, when I think about Al, I think about a physical running back, and throughout the game he had some good runs, but certainly that touchdown run was a big time run, and he broke a tackle right at the line of scrimmage, found his way through, broke another arm tackle, came popping out of there, and so that one really, what was there left in the game at that point? 7 minutes, 8 minutes. That put a lot of pressure on them. So he's a big part of what we do, and we need him to continue to be a big physical back that finds ways to get us at least 4 yards, because those are big. I can call a pretty good game in 2nd and 5. Okay, it's you know what I mean. That's a lot easier. When you win on the line of scrimmage, you fall forward for 2 more yards, you gain 4. He's been doing that pretty well.
Brayden, talk about the game, what a big win it was for this team on Saturday.
It was a great win for us as a team. We finally came out as an offense. I feel like we came out faster compared to other games when we would come out slow. We wouldn't score many points in the first and second quarter. And I think that we still, like Coach Cronic says, we haven't played our best game. We still have room to improve. And we got to keep our heads down, keep fighting against this upcoming game, Citadel. And like Coach Cronic said, we're in a fight, we're in a battle right now to make the playoffs for the first time in program history. And, yeah, just trying to keep our heads down, keep moving forward.
Brayden, being from Macon, how does it feel to help contribute so early?
It feels great. I've been coming to the Mercer games since 2014, sitting at the 50-yard line all the way at the top. And, man, coming out and from the Bear for the first time was completely unreal. And now actually making plays on the field is just, I don't know, it's crazy to me. It just feels unreal.
Talk about your growth from week 1 to where you're at now. How has that come along?
Sir, I think that it has a lot to do with practice and improving with confidence with the plays. A big thing is that I struggle with sometimes is getting the plays down in a timely manner, because it's a big difference coming from high school football to now college football. The plays are a lot more complicated, and so week 1, I would say I was struggling way worse than I am now with comprehending and learning the plays.
How big an adjustment was it coming from playing that?
Huge. Words cannot describe the difference. It was at Tatnall. It was like Brayden run a fade, and I would run catch the ball. Now it's like radar something, and 5 different things, and then I have to comprehend it and learn it and then do it. So.
Brayden, what kind of growth have you seen from Carter from game 1 to now? What different things are you seeing from him?
Well, from the day one, since I got here on June 6th, I've seen the type of player Carter is. Great quarterback. I think that he's been the same player all year, but I think that his confidence is building, which is why it's showing more. In game 1, he was still Carter Peavy. He just wasn't as confident as he was last game. So I feel like him, while we're growing as a team, a lot of it has to do with him building confidence as we continue to play.
What's it been like to play side by side with kickoff returns with the guy next to you, number 1?
Oh, yeah.
And also offensively, as you look at Ty and Dale, what have you learned by watching them to help you prepare and advance week by week?
Yes, sir. I relate to Dev very closely because we're both undersized guys to start off with. And so he's taught me an uncountable amount of things starting when I got here, from our routes to ways to catch the ball better, or, drag your toes at the line of scrimmage and whenever you're trying to stay in bounds and little things like that. He's been able to help me build as a player. And Ty is more of a mental. He'll help me in certain situations calm down and be there for me more, not on like a football side, but a mental side.
Well, like I said after the game, we've known that Western likes to take the return up the sideline, and this time they decided to go to the field, and the left side of our kickoff team just held their own. And as I was tracking the ball over, I saw the ball on the ground and just picked it up and decided not to look back.
Is that your first touchdown?
It is, yes, sir.
You get to keep the ball? I know baseball can do.
I kept the ball, yes, sir. Gave it to the parents after the game.
Did you ever score a touchdown in high school?
Yes, sir. I came in high school, I played quarterback.
Okay, yeah.
And I was kind of a dual threat guy, along with playing safety on the other side of the ball. So I scored a couple touchdowns in high school.
Like I told Coach Cronic after the game, as part of this interview, he talks about complimentary football and the turnovers. But that was not the only turnover we had. The opening kick, we knocked the ball. It just looked like from the very beginning, the team was much more aggressive on special teams play. For some reason, you guys have just stepped it up to the next level there?
Well, all year long we've been preaching on special teams that the ball is our ball, and it's just their job to hold on to it. And Saturday, we got a few punches in there and got the ball out, and I think it was a huge key in our win.
Mick, what growth have you seen from defense since the Furman game, especially? I mean, kind of energy are you seeing from the defensive side of the ball since that game?
Ever since Furman, I've seen just a different look in the defensive guys' eyes. And I mean, Coach Taylor and the rest of the defensive coaches, they work their tail off each and every week to make sure that we're all prepared. Because we know if we're prepared, we play confident, and that's when we play our best ball. And we have confidence in the offense to get their job done, and it just makes everything easier.